everything, but now Meta makes the hoops. But I'm having to deal with cold. I know that sounds so. I don't know if you remember, but I just moved from Arizona to North Carolina.
Oh,
over the summer.
On that note, I opened the window because I was too warm. Let me reclose it. Give me a second.
Yeah, just because now you're going to be sitting and not pacing around. At least I pace around when there's phone calls. I don't know about anybody else, I guess. Dun, 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 dun,
My
dun,
apartment has radiator heat, so I have no control over the temperature other than opening or closing a window.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it's very Chicago.
Okay, I was like, our forefathers did it or whatever. I wanted to say some sort of like generational trauma. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Okay, see, look, now I'm ready. I put on my lips for you.
Sounds
lies.
Good.
All of it lies.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to go here. I have one more thing. And then the show actually starts, which is funny.
Okay.
It takes a minute for people to get on and all the things anyways.
No, I'm not in a rush. I'm good.
Well, but I'm trying to be like not a, bad friend too. I'm like, hey, come to my little thingy where I am over caffeinated and I try to talk about things because maybe somebody cares.
Oh my God. Did you see the comment that someone left in the group?
Thank you. Oh, I think you might have to be, I know. Welcome. You finally just got in to the group and it's gone crazy pants. So
yeah, welcome. This guy's like, how dare they let you post this, but they wouldn't post my ad. And I'm like, I'm not making any money doing this. I don't know what you think I'm getting out of this. That I think so unfair to you.
Said comment was directed at me and not you, Bianca. Mm-hmm. So thank you for coming to the ride. I feel like someone came to my defense though, Brooke. We're not going to give it more time or attention than it needs, but
it was a little jarring when that's like my first impression.
For the peanut stand, I'm not selling anything on this show. This is like my love letter to the industry.
Yeah, it's just like a little cute social thing. It's not that serious.
I know. And one of the points of the show was, I didn't want to be a gatekeeper among several things, right? But also what I think has it only been this year, but maybe last year we got a chance to meet. And some of you might have seen Bianca at some of the events and the stuff, which by the way, she pays for just so she's better at her job. So again, there's like people out there that care. And if you're one of them, welcome to my little.
Oh my God, I didn't realize we were live. Sorry.
Why?
You didn't tell me
to be live and doing whatever. Oh, I thought I did, but you might have gone. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna hit the button because I got to connect all the things, and then there's a live.
Oh, anyway. Okay. Sorry, I didn't realize I was live. Anyway,
the button means live. I should really work on my verbiage. I apologize.
Yeah, I did not know.
But it's okay. I wear a cat hat, and my yoga ball's still there, or whatever, because I'm slowly declining.
No, I understand.
So we're here, but
we're here
in case people are just jumping on. Welcome to the show. If it's even a show, it's more like a stream. But this is, hey, if you're jumping in, I'm Tori, self-proclaimed condom charmer, but really the sales director at Paradise. And among many things, I've gone to trade shows, and many of you have been to those trade shows, kind of on the B2B side, and in kind of like learning stuff and meeting people like the fabulous Bianca here. I wanted to share that with other people because not everybody can go to the shows, and also it keeps my brain on straight. I get to talk to people and not be a hermit because I work at home. Some of you might understand that. Also to the point in the heart of the show was, thank you everybody for being here. I didn't think the show was going to be what it is now, and it's kind of just evolved in the last 3 years. And many of the community out here on this page have had a lot of great, feedback and things to say. So I'm gonna keep going. We're gonna keep doing this. And that being said, I usually try to start the show out with a condom joke, which today is, why did the condom avoid arguments? You ready? It's real bad because it preferred to stay safe and avoid unnecessary friction.
Mm-hmm. I have a lot to learn from that condom.
Right? It's actually, and to be fair, I wrote it the other day, so it's nothing to do with anything. I thought it was bad and silly, but true. So industry updates over here. Before we jump into everything, I got to make sure you do know who my guest is here. Is Bianca Alba. If you have not been cool enough to meet her and have conversations with her, I not only did she write this really great condom guide that we're going to go through and talk about, but she spent the time to meet with people to write this article. And for me, definitely while I've been kind of working in the B2B side of condoms, I haven't seen like a published article this expansive, right, and detailed and just excellent in a long time. So outside of like me and my little bubble of the adult retail industry, I think this guide is going to help retailers out there too. I think it's going to help anybody. I think it's going to help drive more business to where it needs to go. Because, ultimately, we're dealing with a society, right? There's that bias I can't change of like, somehow condoms are not sexy, or don't wear them because I can't feel them, or whatever it is. So having mainstream, people talking about it, I applaud you. Thank you. Oh, look, and Nathan says it's such a great article. He read it this morning. See?
Yeah.
Thank you, Nathan.
Appreciate that.
It was great. And I'll post it later, but this is the link to go see it, and I'll screen share here in a minute. But yay, because the things have all worked out. Bianca wrote the guide, but also she's written many, 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 many things. She's way cooler than I. And this is me like starting for a second, but I'm going to calm down. But she writes with Wirecutter, which is the New York Times Wirecutter. You have done, I don't know, so many press releases. You did this incredibly detailed condom thing that we're going to talk about. But if you want to take a minute, kind of just let everybody know the expanse of not just your education, but like, why do you give a shit? Why are you coming on the free show with Tori? Why do you give a shit?
Sure. So I've always been a sex nerd. And in my late 20s, early 30s, I was like, I want to make a career out of this. I don't know how. I'm still not entirely sure that I have figured it out, but I'm doing a good job of convincing people I have. I got my start.
Told me.
Cool. Well, I got my start blogging about sex toys. I was doing, my friend Ken Melvin Berg was doing a lot of copywriting for the stockroom, like creating feeder websites where it was just informational websites that fed into the stockroom. So he was hiring me freelance to write like guides to every kind of genital pump or every type of nipple clamp. Like, so I was writing all of these, just these like wikis about different types of sex toys for the stockroom. This was back in 2011. And then I had a blog called School for Scandal where I was reviewing sex toys with another retailer who I don't really want to name their name because they have a weird reputation. And I was just...
We've all made mistakes and learned from them.
Yeah. So I'm just going to keep their name out of my mouth. And then I was starting to do some grassroots education. I was really active in the local like kink and polyamory scenes. So teaching people how to have their first squirting orgasm at BDSM dungeons, things like that, teaching people like how to dip a toe into Tantra. So I was I was working for the Japanese government at the time.
That wasn't in the little bio that I was like, how do I introduce her?
People who met me in the past decade don't know this lore, but I spent my whole 20s working either in Japan or the US for the Japanese government. And I think it's because like I am very neurodivergent and very bad at masking. And that was the one place I could work where they didn't realize that it was neurodivergence. They just thought I was an American. And that was why I was weird.
What an interesting, I've never thought of it that way, right? When you're,
it wasn't until later that I figured it out, but I was just sort of like, why is that the only office job where I haven't gotten fired or I haven't fought with my boss? And then like, she's just that weird American bitch, leave her alone, whereas what I'm trying to do, I'm not cut out for corporate America. Yeah.
On like being lonely, like, hey, well, I might feel like an outsider right now or whatever, but they don't know the difference and I'm killing it.
Yeah, exactly. So I was able to like fly under the radar with my ODHD. And then I was like, dang, I really want to do more structured work around sexuality. I looked into doing sex therapy, but there are certain aspects of being a sex therapist. There's a lot of restrictions that are put on you socially around like, you can't go to sex parties in your area because you might see clients, stuff like that. And I was just like, that feels a little intense. So I ended up going to Indiana University where they have the Kinsey Institute and the Center for Sexual Health Promotion.
Some of us might have heard of that small institute.
Yeah. And like, I swear to God, Tori, when I was going through my process of like, where do I want to go to school? Who do I want to study with? What do I want to learn? When I look back at the journals from that era, like I'm like, list of schools, IU was number one. List of potential mentors, Debbie Herbenek, who was my mentor at the time, number one on the list. And like, I didn't even realize that until I went back and I was like, wow, I like literally like made it happen. I got a full ride for 2 years. Like I just right time, right place. It just like all clicked into place. And I did my internship at the Kinsey Institute. I did their blog for them. And when
this is all before AI, ladies and gentlemen. I think if you went to college without ChatGPT, I'm going to give you a medal. But also if you're actually fucking writing blogs and stuff, pardon my French on my own show. But like I that's a whole other conversation. But I know lady here writes it like a real writer.
Yeah, I write it. I've been told that I need to write more like AI, which makes me nervous, but
that's literally feedback you got. That's hilarious. I mean, it's not hilarious, but it's hilarious. Oh my God.
It's what, like, yeah. Right? And what we won't even go down.
That's a whole other episode, but
yeah, the last podcast I was on, I literally spent half an hour talking about AI proofing your brand. So if you want to hear me talk about that, listen to So Very Living My Life with Sorrow. That's a friend of mine.
I'm going to go check it out. That's
because right now, I think the most important thing that you can do for people like me who are creatives is to be imperfect, be authentic, and form parasocial relationships. So you can't just be replaced by AI. Being generic is the death of
right. Creativity. But also you need to learn. I think at this point, if you haven't picked it up and played with it a little bit, you're gonna get left behind. I don't want anyone to be taken advantage of.
Oh yeah, no, I have ChatGPT. Right? I use it very judiciously. I like to use it.
Taker.
I use it to identify plants that grow in my neighborhood because I am a witch and I like to forage. And I think that's a brilliant way to use it.
Soon.
What?
Yeah. I was like, ooh, let me show you my hydroponic garden here later.
Yeah,
but it's in
the other so there are ways
we can play with AI later.
That makes sense to me, but using it to just destroy all creative careers.
When all the prompts that whatever I'm trying to craft or people are putting out there, how to make it sound more human, and you were just told to sound more robotic.
I know.
Where do I live right now?
It is what it is. So anyway, circling back.
So going back to what
I was at Kinsey. I'm going to tell you how I got into doing Wirecutter. I was at Kinsey and I was doing some stuff with Debbie, and she had written sort of her recommended vibrator for Wirecutter. This is before New York Times. And then they wanted an actual vibrator guide. Well, they wanted a vibrator guide, a butt plug guide, and a G-spot toy guide. And they wanted actually in-depth research, multiple testers, all this stuff. Debbie did not have time to do it. And she was like, I have this grad student who's already written a lot about sex toys. Like, would you be interested in seeing if she's a good fit for you? And I have this weird trifecta of or maybe it's a quadfecta. I don't know if that's a word where I already knew a lot about sex toys. So I had the knowledge base.
Because your hyper focus had already done that chapter.
Yeah, my neurospice had already spiced on that.
Lots of seasoning there.
I had academic research training. I knew how to do academic research. I had experience in journalism and writing for media. And I have no shame, and I will talk about my masturbation habits in the New York Times.
I want to pick your brain another time on how you get to the no shame part. I think I'm finally old enough to give a fuck, right? But also,
I think I still have shame. Everyone has shame. I think it was a combination of my upbringing and also just the neurospice. It's the tism. I don't know. I'm sure there are autistic people who do have a lot of sexual shame, but I that the shame chip is missing in me. So
I just had this my mind has been vast. So you might not be wrong there, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So all those pieces just kind of fell into place. I got hired. I believe I'm the longest term freelancer they've had. So when I started Wirecutter, they were an independent website. This was in 2014. They got acquired by New York Times, I think, in 2016. Okay. So, and yeah, I think I'm the person who's been on the same beat the longest of anyone there. At this point, it's been 11 years.
To that.
Yeah.
There's no job security, but there's
I'm clearly good enough at what I do, or it's hard to find someone who has the weird combinations of skill sets.
No, you're making it happen. Also, say hi to Leah. Leah, have you met Bianca?
I don't think so.
Oh my goodness, Leah. She's at Maxtasy now. I knew her when she was back on one of the Deja Vu show floors. What was it, El Cajon? So she's fun. She's super amazing, and I love spending time with her. So hi, Leah. Wonderful. Thanks for coming. Yeah. Okay, so that's awesome. We did some human stuff, but now I'm going to pick your brain because this is what we do. Oh, look, she says, no, I haven't. Oh, how cute. Okay. Leah, Bianca, Leah. It's going to be fabulous. Thank you for coming. So knowing, what did you call it? The quadfecta. Okay.
The quadfecta of weird skill sets. Yeah.
You're here with your weird skill sets and you've made it work for you. What pieces what were you not ready for when you started writing about, like, cause you had the nerd part, you had the writing part and kind of blending them together. What were you not prepared for?
I would say that the original iteration of Wirecutter, and they were very kind to me. They treated me very well. So this is no disrespect. And I'm talking about the old guard. I'm not talking about New York Times. But at that point, Wirecutter would have all hands meetings where all of the writers, all of the specialists, we'd all be on this giant Zoom call. This is long before pandemic, talking about the projects we're working on. And I remember when it came to be my turn to talk about what I was working on, everyone started laughing at me.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah. Everyone was like, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. And I'm just like,
and it's not about you, or it's not about,
no, it's not about me.
Yeah,
it's obviously it's not about
the reaction.
But it is nevertheless humiliating to be like, hi, I'm this research science. I take this very seriously. I'm talking about my job that you're paying me to do and the logistics of how we're going to work with this retailer. Like, that's literally, we were doing a partnership with Early to Bed at that time. And that was all I was talking about. And they had to put the meeting on mute because everyone was like squirming and giggling. And I was just sort of like, I understand
this is not even in the past decade. It's earlier than that.
2014. Yeah. And I understand that it's uncomfortable for people, but the fact that, like, I'm expected to mask, but y'all can't hold your giggles in for 5 minutes I
don't want to be that person, and you don't need to tell me, but it's my show. So I'm going to go it. Were these all male presenting people?
It was everyone.
It was a mixture.
Okay. It was men and women. Everyone was, and I know that the laughter is discomfort.
But again, it takes a minute to get to that. Had that happened to me in my 20s, I probably would have just like crumbled and died.
It did hurt my fucking feelings. I mean, I know it wasn't about me, but it was just like, damn, like,
no, yeah,
it kind of hurt my feelings. And it also was like, why did you hire me to do this if this is like so triggering? And the other thing that I will tell you about from that era was I spent 6 months putting body and soul into making these 3 guides, right? They came out on Valentine's Day and they hid them in the back of the website where no one could find them. You had to have a direct link. There was no way to navigate to them from the Wirecutter front page. Without the direct link, they were kind of the dirty little secret. And that devastated me too, because I was just like, wow, I was so proud of what I did. And now it's just like buried.
Oh, and well, you know what? Thank you for sharing all this, because I know a lot of us sometimes feel that way when I tell people, like, I'm selling condoms, right? They're like, oh, it happens like every show.
It is so hard to be in this industry. And to stay heartened when there is so much pushback. So what flipped that actually was in 2020. This is after we're now in the New York Times era, right? And New York Times didn't have it hidden. Like, they have an adult section, but it wasn't like buried, right? They tweeted out the vibrator guide in July of 2020 when everyone was at home, bored as fuck. And it went viral. And then they realized that they could make fuck you money selling vibrators. And I know this now because I've spoken to people, who are featured in the guide. I'm not making fuck you money, but New York Times and some of these brands are. So
yes, we'll manifest
I think
it.
once they realized they could make fuck you money selling vibrators, now every time they do a gift guide, magic wand is in there, womanizer is in there, some pick is in there. They stopped being so shy about it, and it really is. They realized there was money. They
realized there was a legitimate business.
There was a legitimate business there. There was a way that they could make, because I feel like something like a vibrator that's $100 is, it's a big enough sale. They get a nice cut off of that, but it's not so expensive. Like, and I don't know, like, I feel like it's an easy entry point where people are going to be like, oh, I've always wanted to try that. And they'll just buy it on impulse if Wirecutter says it's okay. Maybe they would have been too shy to do it otherwise. New York Times says it's okay to have a vibrator. I'm going to buy the vibrator. And so, like, maybe that's easier to do a big volume of than cashmere sweaters, or I don't know, designer dongles.
Yeah, because I would think it's like cosmetics, right? It's like, hey, here's the new option. We're talking about, like, people easily spent over $100 on a serum.
Yeah. So they realized there was money in it, and then that's when they started kind of opening the door a little bit more for me. They hired me to do a guide to cleaning sex toys.
Which is super important, and people don't just know how to do.
No. They had me on their podcast twice talking about lubes, talking about vibrators. That was super fun. They had me on their YouTube channel talking about how we do the testing, since I went on Reddit and I did an AMA, because what happened was when it went viral. Yeah. The AMA is still there. If you Google,
I'm gonna go check it out.
Yeah, but the reason I did the AMA is when the vibrator guide went viral on Twitter, everyone was like, oh my God, I can't believe, like, people at Wirecutter masturbated for 90 hours. And I would, like, reply being like
90 consecutive hours.
Hi, I wrote this, and the 90 hours was not just masturbation. It wasn't 90 consecutive hours of masturbation. It was also
this is like 90 hours of research.
Of, like, work. Yeah. And people would be like, no, ha ha ha, she jerked off for 90 hours.
I was totally just kidding. But you're like, okay, I realize I'm now in your head and you're thinking about this.
No, so but, like, no one, I would be like, actually, I'm the person who wrote this. Would you like to know what actually happened? And it was like, no. They just want to giggle about it. And that's a lot of what's hard about this, is like being like, I take this seriously, getting other people to take it seriously. But again, once they realized there was money in it, that went a long way. And New York Times,
other episode. We'll dive into that later.
That's a whole other episode. And New York Times saying it's okay to have sex toys. Now, granted, if Wirecutter started at New York Times from zero, I don't know if there'd be a sex toy guide. It got grandfathered in from the original Wirecutter, which was this own independent Wild West thing, right? But the fact that New York Times does have these sex toy guides gave the entire media industry permission to start talking about this stuff more.
Because now I need to compete as well.
Now every major whatever has a vibrator guide. Maybe not every, but like Better Homes and Gardens, Wall Street Journal, like, I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I don't know if those are the specific publications, but there are some publications that you would not expect to have a vibrator guide that has a vibrator guide now.
This is exciting. Yes.
Mama said that it was all right. So
hey,
Great Lady said it was okay.
I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna say, right, one of the number one things I'm hearing is that foot traffic is down in stores, right? So hey, you know what? If New York Times says it's okay, how do we use that to get more people into your stores? Right?
Yeah, because obviously Wirecutter makes its money from affiliate sales. So,
but it doesn't mean that the sort of like guidance it gives, or the fact that it's out there, you can't be like, oh my God, and all of these things featured here, or I don't know.
Well, I think that there's also, sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, no, go ahead, please.
I think that there are going to be consumers that only want to shop online. And granted, they can go to a retail. I mean, I shouldn't be talking about where people should buy things. I don't know if this is a conflict of interest. But in my heart, I do think people should be supporting
my show. No one's getting paid here, including me. I'm not like.
I know, but I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to get in trouble with my bosses, right?
Oh, but that would mean that they'd have to watch me. Just kidding.
Yeah, fair enough. But I mean, what I'm saying is, like, there are always going to be the people that want to buy it online. There's always going to be the people who want to buy it in person. But yeah, it's like, how do we get those people who want to buy it online to buy it from the small retailers so that they can stay open,
Yeah. Yeah. Or again, just using the sort of like, hey, there's demand out there. Yeah. How do you take that demand trend or whatever and turn it to something that you can use to get more foot traffic in?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So I know we've gotten to sit and I give you samples, and it's fun times. And some people have not been able to see you or meet you at things like Altitude. But what do you think? Do you think being able to be visible in some of those community spaces? I mean, I know it's helped our relationship and this guide come to fruition, but do you think, would you recommend it to other people, being like, this is where you should be, and it does help influence how you tackle other topics?
Just in terms of going to trade shows, and now are you talking about me recommending it to other journalists or to retailers? To who am I recommending this to?
I guess whoever we'd be talking to, right? So we'll just say another journalist. Like, you're flying yourself all over the place, and you're giving yourself extra work, talking to all these people in your 90 hours of research.
Right?
Does it help to be visible in some of the community spaces, like a B2B trade show?
Yes, it's tricky because I keep having to remind people that I have to avoid conflicts of interest. Like, for example, I started a Substack so that I could kind of do a little bit of independent research on stuff that I don't cover for Wirecutter, because so otherwise I just get kind of locked into this niche, right? And I'm like,
oh no, sometimes I have to write it down so it lives somewhere, even if it's not like happening.
Well, also, I just want people to know who I am outside of New York Times, because a lot of times people just care that I'm associated with New York Times. They don't care about me as a person. And I'm like, let me build up my own brand as well, so that like there's more of a symbiotic relationship rather than me just being the New York Times's person,
I support the strategy.
Yeah, but the problem is, like, sometimes I'll review something which is not within the purview of what I do for Wirecutter, and then the company will take the review I wrote, and then they're like, "Oh, Wirecutter says," and I'm like, "Nope, I am not Wirecutter. I am Bianca Alba.
That one person. An article in Wirecutter says."
Well, no, it would be something I reviewed on Substack, and they would say Wirecutter recommends this, and I'm like, that just because I write for Wirecutter doesn't mean that Wirecutter recommends this. Bianca Alba recommends this.
There you go. Okay, so even more detailed.
It's a delicate dance, So, and I'm kind of trying to figure out the best way to navigate it, where I can have my own career independently of Wirecutter, because I am not their employee. I'm a freelancer, and I don't work for them full time, and I do have to make a living. But I do like the trade shows. I like getting to meet the people behind the brands. I love getting to meet people like you. You've been an incredible resource in terms of learning about condoms. It used to be that I was kind of dependent on, so I live 2 blocks away from Early to Bed in Chicago, one of my favorite adult retailers. And Sarah has been a huge resource for me, the owner, Sarah, and I would go in there and see what they were selling. But now it's gotten to the point, since I've started going to the trade shows, I go in there and I tell Sarah about things I've seen. It's like I have so much more access. It used to be that like my exposure to things was kind of filtered by, Epiphora, the blogger. I don't even know if she's still doing that blog anymore. And Sarah at Early to Bed, and just like people who were the tastemakers. And now I'm the tastemaker because I actually get to go and see it directly. I'm exposed to brands I wouldn't necessarily encounter otherwise. I mean, the signal to noise ratio is crazy, because there's just like, it's like you promoted
yourself in like wanting to commit and doing that for yourself. You just gave yourself your own promotion.
Look at you. My own brand rather than just being
brave.
I am not Wirecutter. I am my own person who works with Wirecutter, but I am not Wirecutter, if that makes sense.
Right. Well, I get it. Right. You tend to feel like you do a lot of things for the company, but the company doesn't necessarily need to do a lot of things for you. You kind of get the
I'm a freelancer. I have no protection. I'm not an employee, so I have to make sure that my own butt is covered in terms of.
But you also want to do good work.
Yeah, absolutely. So getting to meet folks, people in the industry have been so kind. I love getting to see these like indie brands that are coming up. I love getting to meet brands that I would never otherwise. Getting that human piece is huge.
It is huge.
And it's just, they're a ton of fun. I love going to trade shows. I always have such
we love having you too. So that's exciting. And
now
here's to hoping, more people, when we get the pleasure of seeing Miss Alba again, like,
well, I will definitely be at Altitude. So,
and that's like, I'm hearing the show to go to this year.
Yeah, Altitude, and probably Stimulate. Wirecutter will pay for one show a year, and everything else is out of my own pocket. So it's kind of like, what can
which one's going to be more expensive?
Yeah.
Probably Vegas.
Yeah, well, I'm paying for Vegas, and they're paying for Stimulate because, well, maybe, I don't know that for sure. Probably going to Stimulate, but we haven't.
But still, the fact that you commit, put this put your extra time and thought and
yeah, no, I'm paying out of pocket to,
yeah.
And the big reason why is
because you give a shit.
Well, I give a shit, and also I used to live in Vegas. I have friends there.
Oh,
I want to go to Vegas every year anyway, just because I love Vegas, and it's like an excuse that my trip to Vegas. I am going to Stimulate. I went last year. It was amazing. I'm going again.
Ooh, Nathan says,
yeah, I had a blast at Stimulate. I had such a good time. It was really unique. I like the fact
I didn't
that
go,
they have.
but I think I'm gonna go this upcoming
It's
year.
cool. Well, they have a lot of doctors and clinicians and therapists in the mix, so it's not just a B2B show. It's like there's a bigger sex ed component in the mix as well, and great networking, and just it's in Nashville, which is fucking surreal. Because
you know, like me now.
Yeah, well, I mean, the censorship there is hardcore, but like they had a whole line dancing party, and it was kooky. It was fun.
Oh my goodness. Talking about like censorship or whatever. Funny story. Again, I'm still adjusting to living in North Carolina, and it was cold today, thus the hat. My husband was just doing like normal grocery shopping, what's like Sunday or something like that. And it was before 10 o'clock. And so, you know, he picks up the wine because it's been a holiday season and, you know, for later. Nope. Can't buy it before 10. Things I don't even know when I live here.
Yeah. I used to live in Indiana and you couldn't buy, I think they changed it, but it used to be that you couldn't buy alcohol on a Sunday.
Yeah, maybe it was the Sunday thing, but also I think they said it was a 10 o'clock thing. I don't know. It's just
because God forbid people get drunk in the morning. Whereas like here, we definitely have morning bars.
Yeah, right. It's like, well, why don't we make the money then?
Yeah, because there are some people who want to get an early start on things. So
okay, so I'm gonna bear with me. I'm going to screen share this beautiful. So if I didn't send everybody the guide like I was trying to, it's coming. Don't worry.
Yeah, take your time, hon.
Oh no, I meant I'm going to send everybody this condom guide. So if I haven't sent it to you already, it's coming. Can we see it? Oh, look at how gorgeous it is, everybody.
I love the kooky art that they make for these.
It is so cool.
This one's like a checkered board with like cucumber slices and condoms.
There's a cucumber. It's so cute.
Can I tell my favorite little story about the wire cutter?
Yes, because I was gonna say this is where we're moving into the like, okay, tell me what was it like making the article, what were the challenges, and
this is just a little, this is a very short side quest, but
this is perfect.
I've been pushing for them to do a stroker guide forever, to do any kind of penis sex toy guide, and I've been pushing for this for over a decade, and they say that it's maybe going to happen in 2026. We don't know this for sure, but fingers crossed, right?
Hey,
but we did. After Altitude last 2 years ago, I don't know, whenever it was, one of the trade shows, I pitched a bunch of blog posts, and the one that they ended up picking up was comparing the womanizer to the Arcwave Ion, or like, you know, classic like suction toys. There's the male rose, there's the Arcwave Ion, which uses womanizer technology. There was some other one from Love Honey, and it was like, okay, do suction toys for penises and for the frenulum work as well as suction toys for clitorises? And I have a designated test dick.
Everybody's got a designated test stick.
I've got a designated test stick. When
I've got several sizes for condom sizing.
Huh?
I was like, I've got several test sticks in a bag for condom sizing.
No.
Easiest way to show things off.
This is a human test dick.
Ah, there you go.
Non-binary penis popper. And when they blog for me, they blog under the name Cruelty Free Dick, because one of their partners said that they were North America's only source of cruelty free dick. I don't know. Yeah, they're kooky, and I jokingly call when they do reviews for me, PPPP, penis person product perspectives. Anyway, when Cruelty Free Dick reviewed these various suction stroker toys for a blog post, not for a whole guide, but just for a blog post, the photo art, like when we did the rose toy, it was like the rose toy in a vase of flowers and a candle, like very like bedside table, very elegant. It was like the Arcwave Ion next to a cum rag. It was like literally just next to a washcloth. And I'm like,
I mean,
like all that was missing was a can of Monster Energy drink. Yeah, and like a bottle of Lubriderm. I'm like,
you changed audiences here in the same article.
It's like literally just the toy and a washcloth. I'm like, guys, come on. Can we class up this joint a little bit? No,
Yay,
but I mean, I'm just being silly. I love
it. It's hilarious.
Like, and also like if you check out the lube guide, they like had all these like, pears and peaches and like juicy fruits.
Oh yeah, wait, we'll get into some more on this one. Where's some cute ones? Oh, but I love your top pick, in case anyone wants to know. Is the new
love it. The whole time that I've been doing this, we've tried to, and again, condoms are a subjective thing. There's no one that's best for everybody. But every time that I crowdsource opinions,
500 different types, or at least different items. So,
everyone loves lifestyle skins. Lifestyle skins, the people have complained about the fragrance, masking agent, whatever, but otherwise, in terms of the feel, the function, people love the skins. So
no, it's a really great material.
It's a fantastic condom. I use it myself. When I use condoms, it is what I personally use. We're also very excited about the introduction of this nitrile condom. That's something you can buy at a drugstore, and it's a different option. And then these One Flex condoms were great. First of all, they're really sexy because they're sheer black. Yeah, and they're very thin and they transmit heat great.
Oh, so thin. People think that it falls off. Oh, and I know what I think it was this article where the feedback was this only comes in one size. I did hear secret. I'll give you all the things once I know, but our rep did tell us that they're working on an XL and an extra lubed. So I'm excited about that.
Good to know. Wonderful.
Good to know. Yeah. Okay. So then my other favorite part, because you're just so thorough, but everyone should, and I'll put this down in the comments again, so everybody can come find it, because I think it's a great article. And I think definitely if you've got maybe a fresh staff, right? Maybe a staff that's like newer to talking about condoms. I know I just, in my head, here's the spiciness. I always kind of wanted to have like a couple of selling points tucked away for pretty much anything, in case I needed to pull from the archive of selling. So something like this is definitely like, you don't have to use your own. Yes, it's an easy go-to. You don't have to use your own testimonies. You don't have to fill something out of the archive. It's just already here, right? And again, she's super, super thorough. But I did want to ask, like, can you tell us how deep the research went and any, and going behind it, like give us a sneak peek in behind the scenes, because again, I read it. And so when you guys go read it, look at super, super thorough. She's like listing how everybody did it and what ones in the conversation. Like it's great.
So the condom guide has always been my most challenging guide to work on. And to the point that I was like, I don't want to do this anymore, because I had PTSD from the first time. No, well, here's the deal. The first time we did it, we're doing a lot less hands-on testing now. We're more just like looking at what's on the market. How thin is this? Opening up the packages. Like, okay, and I'll explain why, because doing the hands-on testing was an absolute nightmare. The first time around, I think we were looking at 36 different condoms. We were looking at a snug fit, a standard fit, a larger fit,
down the rabbit hole, right?
Non-latex, latex. We were looking at 36 different condoms, and we had 36 different testers. And the attrition on the tester pool was abysmal, because with the vibrator testing, back when I was doing panel testing for vibrators and other toys, if I had 6 people each trying 6 vibrators, I could usually get them to submit their data sets for me. But if you have 36 people using a condom with a partner and then they break up, or this person is allergic to this, like,
you're not going to get the feedback. Yeah.
I had such a bad data set for how much work I put into it, because so many people just never turned in their data, or they had some excuse, or someone broke up. Getting people to use the stuff together was just like, So that's why we've kind of changed it to like looking at it rather than having hands-on testing, just objectively looking at like, what are the features of this? What are the actual measurements? How actually thick is this? Reading reviews and having to take a different approach to it, because I'm sure if I could have done, like, if I could have paid people to test it, I might have gotten better results. But because this was unpaid testing, I just couldn't get the data from folks. Like, I got enough data, but it's not even a statistically significant data pool. So the condom guide has been a beast to work on. And also there's just like so much stuff on the market, and So I just do my best. And this was our first real update since it came out. There was a mini update in 2020 where they just kind of looked at what was on the market and tweaked a few things, but didn't do too much. So this was like, honestly, the first big overhaul in a decade. Skins stayed triumphant because it's a great condom. And I love that it's available in a drugstore, because a lot of times the stuff I recommend, some of the things I like our G-Spot toy pick of all time is like the Enjoy Pure Wand. And that's like not necessarily super easy to get your hands on all the time.
Yeah, and not every retailer
even carries it. Like I've never even been able to reach a PR person from their team.
And it's priced as a very premium product.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Not every store is going to be able to cater to that audience.
Exactly. But lifestyle skins, you can get them at any Walgreens, any CVS, any Dwayne Reed, wherever the heck you go.
And know, for any retailers out there, know that drugstores are definitely on the higher scale of pricing, because commodities you can so you definitely can compete with. I mean, there's a range, right? Anything online is going to be cheaper, but as far as in store, you can compete with drugstore prices.
Yeah,
depending on where you want to be.
And if someone's like, "Oh, this is my favorite brand that I always get at CVS, but it's $2 cheaper here," there you go.
Yeah. Now you got your quick turns. And you got foot traffic coming back in.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's definitely, but yeah, it's been, I'm going to take a look at my notes, because I did make some notes about this. I think one of the things I really want to emphasize about the condom guide is I absolutely stand by my picks, but I never claim that what I choose is going to be the best thing for everyone, because everyone has different needs. And what I really want the condom guide to be is a jumping off point for people to start talking about it, having permission to use condoms, because I feel like people are really hinky about condoms these days. Now that HIV is more treatable than it's ever been, and we have stuff like PrEP and PEP and everything like that, which are amazing tools to have, getting people to continue using condoms can be kind of a tough sell. And there is this girl on Instagram who she was like, "Oh, everyone is getting STDs. Y'all just need to stick to giving each other hand jobs." And I'm like, "What about condoms?" And someone was like, "Well, you can still transmit herpes." And I'm like, "So you shouldn't use condoms
because you could get you can still transmit herpes? Okay, would you be transmitting it anyways then?"
But everyone has herpes, and most people are asymptomatic and don't even know they have. I'm just I'm crying in public health.
Yeah.
And someone actually replied, HIV is meds for the rest of your life. God.
No, but you don't know what's happening right now, Bianca. This is the boss. You've met him. He's never watched my show before. You don't even know what's happening right now. This is a moment. At least I don't think he's ever watched. And he commented, but he's right. Yeah, HIV. This is medication that you have to take for the rest of your life.
And someone was like, "Ha ha ha." Well, they said they thought I was a man for some reason. They were like, "He thinks that condoms will prevent gonorrhea." And I'm like,
non-binary doesn't always make you a he, but okay. Oh, what? The gonorrhea?
This person was like, "I can't believe he thinks condoms will prevent gonorrhea." And I'm like this. I just deleted my comment. I literally gave up, because I had all these like Gen Alphas dogpiling me about how terrible I was, that I was suggesting that maybe people have intercourse with condoms.
I don't know.
And I'm like, "Oh, so you're gonna normalize getting STIs, and instead of considering that you could use a condom, it's like, no, well, because you're still gonna get a disease if you get use it." Like, what?
And guess what? The medication's so much more expensive.
Yeah,
even if we're talking Plan B, right? That's $60.
So I'm going to tell you a fun little anecdote about me. So I am 45 years old. So I was coming of age when the HIV AIDS epidemic was raging in the 90s, right? I was 12 years old in 1992. I was 16 years old in 1996. And we were getting education about all this. But I remember the first erotic dream that I had was about a condom breaking as a teenager. I had a sex dream, and in the dream, the condom broke, and then it was a crisis. I never had a sex dream that was a fun sex dream. I was so anxious because it was so built into my psyche.
Being led by our anxiety and our youth.
Yeah, but at that point in history, no way were you going to fuck around without a condom. And I feel like once we got a little bit more of a handle on HIV/AIDS, people just kind of like pushed back and they're like, well, we're just going to bareback now. And everyone has a breeding fetish. And I'm just like, whoa, guys, yo, it's not over. And also we were starting to have antibiotics resistant gonorrhea.
And yeah, gonorrhea and syphilis. Reports of syphilis are back.
Well, yeah, and it's like,
and it's congenital syphilis. That's huge, which means people don't realize they have syphilis, and now they're giving it to their unborn children.
Yeah, and also like just there's not necessarily adequate access to like STI testing. Like
no, and that's like
in Chicago. Living in Chicago, I can go, like AIDS Healthcare Foundation has a free testing thing in Out of the Closet. I go there. That's easy. Boom, right? And there's also like online options for testing now. But when I lived in Indiana, I went to the public health clinic to just get my annual STI test. And they told me that unless I had symptoms of something, they would not give me testing.
Right. It's not a blanketed thing when you go to your OB. Right.
Yeah.
It's just kind of, you need to, I think the only time it's ever been like outside of, you request it, at least in my experience, the only time I've ever gotten a like mandatory test, so to speak, was when I was pregnant. That's the only time. It's like not, and I've never even been asked, to be honest, right?
My doctor gives it to me as part of my standard annual physical. Like I actually told her I didn't need it because I had gotten it done and she did it anyway. But she works with queer populations.
She did it anyways.
But she's working with a lot
of your doctor, and that's the cadence you guys have made. Yeah.
Well, and that's just how she is. She does it for everyone. So,
thanks, Brendy. My friend says, "I look cute." It's the hat.
The hat is adorable.
So
it is really, doing the condom guide is hard because, well, also what was really funny was during the fact checking phase, like there was some part where we're like, yeah, we know that a lot of people don't like using condoms, and the fact checker was like, what proof do you have of this? And I was like,
oh my goodness, yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense. It's like there's this bias that people talk about or don't talk about that's like planted into your brain. But also there's tons and tons of articles where people are asking.
Well, and I had cited a research that had been done at a university talking about college students.
Let me know if you need more, right?
And the fact checker was like, oh, well, this is just college students. It's not generalizable. And I'm like, how?
What do you know about
it's a sample size of 500 for fuck's sake? Like, how is this not generalizable? But it's just, I think in an interesting way, I would say that probably the condom guide is in its own funny way the most triggering and controversial of like all the guides we do, just because there are so many feelings about condoms. People have really complicated feelings about it, and it's all tied up in pregnancy. It's all tied up in disease. Like, yeah, obviously,
it's tied up in trust. Like some of the craziest gaslighting stuff I hear is like, oh, well, then I guess we shouldn't be together if you think I'm a dirty, diseased person. Like that.
Yeah. So it's a tough topic, and like I said, just commenting on someone's Instagram post suggesting that people use condoms if they keep getting STIs got people so angry at me. And I'm just like, I'm of an era where it was just a given that you used condoms.
Yeah, your bias is a little bit different.
I was like a teenager in the 90s. No one wanted to get HIV. So it was just like, and now it's just... If you haven't lived through that trauma, I think it's hard to understand what that was like. Oh my goodness.
Well, if you want to get real depressed, go do the research on HIV in Atlanta right now.
Oh boy. Yeah, I can imagine.
But I'll leave that with you. You, the journalist, you go find the research, or let me know if you want to see
I'm sure it's there. There's like pockets of really bad HIV infection in rural areas, in nursing homes, and like just the most weirdest places.
A really sad one though, right?
Yeah, because no one's using protection. Because
I've had an educator come on, just a quick segue, and they were a nurse in a previous life, and they told us about this one family where the patient had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and then found out it was syphilis. So not only was it Vietnam, right, is what they were thinking. And then so people didn't know, they didn't do the tests. But also like how crazy, like when I started thinking about this more, how crazy would it be to be like from a family side, right? Like to find out that Alzheimer's doesn't live, like is not in my genetic system, and it was syphilis.
So I have a crazy family syphilis story, and I apologize to my great grandparents because I do ancestral work. Let this be education.
We mean to inform. Yes, we do not mean to judge.
My great grandfather, I won't say which one, so that way nobody knows which one it was.
Oh, there you go.
One of my great grandfathers had syphilis from seeing sex workers, and him and my great grandmother had to wait I think 6
it's back when you needed a blood test to get married because of the syphilis.
Well, it must have been the because my grandmother was born in 1913, so Victorian era. They basically had to wait until there was a cure for syphilis to get married. They waited a long time.
Wow.
So they just she stayed.
She just was like, I'm going to take wife duties without being wife.
That was her man. So she waited however long she waited.
Well, see, that's what it is then. When it's your person, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know all the details of all that.
We don't know.
She was my birthday twin, so I feel a weird kinship to her. I also hear that she was an amazing pain in the ass. She once, my uncle needed to catch a bus that was about to depart. And she was this tiny little old lady, and she drove her car and she parked it in front of the bus as it was about to take off and forced the bus to stop. So she was a very stubborn. She was a Taurus. I'm a Taurus.
Oh, you Tauruses. That's okay. I'm an air sign. You'll figure out which one. I'm sure you will.
Well, you're a Gemini, aren't you?
No, I'm a Libra, but I'm Gemini ascending, so I get
Geminis love to yap. I have Venus in Gemini, so I love to yap.
See, but Venus is everybody loves a Venus. A Venus planet. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay, so the guide is lovely. What do you hope? What spark of the imagination would you hope anybody takes away from this guide, right?
Just to talk about sex, just to think about sex and talk about sex. I don't care if you buy my recommendation. If it gets you to try, if it motivates you to use condoms, if you've been having risky sex, if you're like, actually, you know what, maybe this is worth a try. If it gets you to try a different condom than what you usually use and find your new favorite, if it gets you to have a conversation about sex with your partner, if it gets you anything, I just want it to be like a sounding board to get people thinking about sex and talking about sex. And I really think that there's just a tremendous value in having it be the New York Times. And the funny thing is Wirecutter is totally siloed from New York Times, but because it's attached to New York Times, it's therefore legitimate, Yeah. And so it's,
use what you got.
Exactly. So if it's getting people to think and talk about sex education, that's really what I want out of it more than anything else.
Oh, and just to piggyback on you, I want kind of what you mentioned early, the accessibility of it, right? There's so much, as you mentioned, this was a difficult guide for you guys because it's a product that's been around for close to 100 years. I should say at least manufactured, right? Yeah. I'm not going to talk about all the other things before it. So it's had a lot of development. It's gone through a lot of selling ebbs and flows, but it's still hard to really there's no sizing guides when you go walk into a drugstore of hey, these are the condoms you should use. There's no
one has come up with that system for their MyFit,
great.
Which is really
I talk
cool.
About OneFit all the time. So great.
OneFit is amazing. And that's one of the funny ironic things about me is I'm just chronically single. I would be like the bachelor uncle if it was the 1950s or the spinster aunt, whatever. I'm chronically single. Oh my goodness,
right?
But I did, and actually, the first time the condom, I'm just gonna overshare here.
No, this is great. Welcome to the family.
The first condom guide, the first iteration of it, I was freshly single off of a 4-year long monogamous relationship where we were fluid bonded. And I'd never used Tinder before. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go on Tinder and I'm going to find some people to fucking test condoms with me. And you would not believe.
Such a journalist. I need to do the thing.
No, I was like, I'm going to do it for science. And this seemed like, this was a really fun, cute. No, oh my God. It was so hard.
It was a hard no for a lot of people to be like.
No, listen. It was a no strings. I'm like, no strings attached. We fuck. But we have to use a condom. You have to give me your opinion on the condom. But otherwise it's a one night stand. Let's do it. And people were but people were like, and I'm like, you have to meet me in public first to know. And this guy's like, well, I'm not trying to date you. I don't want you to be my girlfriend. I'm like, I literally just want to meet you in public. So is a safety check.
Yeah, like
so,
just as a vibe check.
People just
like
wanted to come to my apartment without any sort of screening. And then people are like, well, do I get to stick it in your ass? And I'm like,
answer the first question first.
It was just like, it was like not, I thought it would be a fun and easy, like, I'm like, this app is full of people who just want to fuck. How hard could this be? Surprisingly hard. Because these people lack boundaries. But I did try the my what is it called? The One My Fit?
Oh yeah, the My One. Yeah.
They changed the name. So I did try that with someone that I was involved with at some point. And his feedback on it was, I hate this much less than any other condom.
I hate it much less.
Because he was very average length. He was about 6 inches, but he was super thick.
Yeah, and
he
that's
had a
like
chode, as they say. So
yeah, right. And on the box, right? They're not necessarily going to tell you all the dimensions, and you might not.
Yeah, you have a lot of ones that are long.
Size. Yeah,
if you want one that's thick, wider, it's usually going to be longer too, and they may not need one that's longer. They might just
you don't need that.
Yeah, exactly.
Size is important. If I have to figure out what bra size I am and maintain it for the rest of my life,
I still don't know what bra size I am. Well, I really don't. I tried to figure that out on Black Friday, and I was not successful. Yeah.
Okay. Well, next time, that's another thing. I could probably say
another topic.
You're not. Okay. Last but not least, and then we'll do my quick little rapid stuff because they make me laugh, and then I will release you because I'm trying not to be a bad friend and do like a 2-hour podcast.
Oh no, you're good. I love to yap. You're fine.
Yay! The Taurus that talks. Just kidding. Y'all like to talk. Just you'll talk about the same things a lot, so you're good to ground me.
Yeah. And I have my notes just in case.
Oh, perfect. You're so sweet. You made notes and everything. I can make notes and then do what I want when we get on here.
Yeah, exactly. But it's good for me to like think it through before I get to yapping.
No, that's sweet. That's sweet. I like it. Again, I do similar things where I'm like, it can't live in my brain. I'll spend so much energy making sure I don't forget it or let it go somewhere. I'm like, I just have to put it somewhere. Right.
Exactly.
Any fun new research or writing projects that we can watch out for here soon?
I can't talk too much about what I do for Wirecutter. Well, also I don't entirely know what guide we're working on next, but I am working on a blog post about one of my favorite products. I can't say which one, but I'm getting to write a little ode to one of my favorite things. So that's super fun. And then I have my Substack, which is theshadylady.substack.com. And I got my hands on, I was gifted the 1992 original release of Madonna's Sex Book. So I'm going to write a review of that. I'm really excited about that. I got my hands on some crystal sex toys that I'm trying out because I'm also witchy and woo-woo and into that stuff.
You know, witchy woo-woo is just do it. It's fun.
Yeah. So I'm going to be doing all sorts of fun. I don't know. I currently have like 36 drafts in my Substack right now.
Well, at least you got content.
Oh no, it's the Shady Lady, or is that does that link work? It's theshadylady.substack.com.
Okay, this was the one I just copied from the.
Okay, if that one works too, that's great. And please,
if it doesn't work, let me know, guys.
Please subscribe if you can afford to pay the $6 a month to support me as an independent writer. I would love that. If you can't, that's fine too. You can read it. It's free. I don't paywall anything currently. Let's see. Yeah. So I have lots of stuff lined up for Substack. I'm going to be writing various reviews, writing book reviews. I love revisiting old sex books. So my friend, there you go. My friend found this like lesbian erotic cookbook from the 90s. So like I wrote a review of that. Like, just I try to keep it fun and kind of silly.
You're just trying to keep your spirit, right? Like, yes, we have to work, but we can go back to enjoying what we do. I don't know why that kind of stopped. I know me. It's like the bandwidth, the pressure, everything's easier and somehow harder at the same time. Like all of that. But like, remember, you can enjoy what you do.
And I also make reels on TikTok and Instagram, which are largely not sex ed.
And I was trying
I also make candles.
Yes.
I also do tarot card readings. I am a jack of all trades. I do all sorts of goofy things. So
because you're living your life.
I'm living my life, and I make. Wait, let me grab a vulva candle. I'm going to show you.
Okay,
I gave you a vulva candle.
I forgot to grab mine. It's in the kitchen, and who doesn't want to see a vulva candle? It's going to be amazing.
There we go.
I love how I can hear it.
If you are looking for
Who doesn't want one of
sex
these?
positive gift.
Aren't they beautiful?
May I recommend
it's a candle.
A vulva candle. I also have penis candles. I also wrote on Substack about making plaster casts of my nipples and making nipple soaps for an Ed Gein event at an oddities store in town.
Why not?
So I do lots of cool creative products.
Yeah,
so check me out. I'm on Substack. I'm on Instagram as Bianca Alba MPH and Shady Lady Brand. Shady Lady Brand is where I make the candles and do the tarot. So yeah, those are my kind of big 3 things, is like Wirecutter, my Etsy, my witchy tarot stuff, and then my Substack where I do a mix of sex ed and also some woo-woo.
Super fun. Again, why not? The jack of all trades, and your master.
I gotta keep it fun. Sex and witchcraft are my hobbies, and the things I like to write about and create about.
Oh yeah, and the whole writing and making a living and no, it's
that part because I'm self-employed. So
yeah, and then everything is always easy and perfect, right? Of course.
Yes. So support my small businesses, subscribe to my Substack, buy a vulva candle. You'll make me so happy if you think I'm cool.
Yes, everybody do the supporting because it's important. At least I like to try to support anybody who's like trying to be sex positive. I call it like the Dumbledore army, right? Like condoms are not the end of the world. I just want you to know that there's more resources and information, and then make a decision.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. No thinking. Instinct only. You ready?
But I wrote down my list. Oh. Okay. Instinct only, but I made notes because honestly, look, Tori, if it's instinct only, I'm going to go blank.
Fine. I know. That's why I have a whole outline I sent you before this, but also
we'll pretend.
You're not supposed to tell my audience that you had to write it down. No, shh. They're supposed to be surprised. Actually, it's amazing.
So we'll pretend that I'm being surprised as I plug in my laptop.
She's super, but I also appreciate you putting prep into this. That's kind of like going to make me weep tears of joy. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
I'm so glad I didn't change the questions on you. One sex ed myth that needs to just disappear.
This is not universal, but definitely some pockets of sex educators believe this. The idea that kink is unhealthy.
Yeah. That's an interesting one.
That's bullshit.
Yeah. That's a whole other episode. Thank you for the new.
That's an incredibly complex topic, but I don't like people who dismiss kink as being unhealthy.
Fair. Or just like I don't like people who just dismiss things of people. Like maybe at least be curious. It doesn't have to be your thing, but at least be curious to understand, because a lot of it has to do with your brain all the time. This piece of meat. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
A pleasure tool that you think deserves way more hype.
I love metal toys. All of my favorite toys are metal toys.
Metal and glass. They just don't get the space and like the attention they used to. And no, they're great, especially if you're someone that doesn't want to clean your toys or doesn't like cleaning toys.
Yeah, they're non-porous. The weight is nice for getting into the G-spot. Metal transmits vibration really well. I just got this amazing metal vibrator from Like a Kitten, and then Crave makes amazing stuff too. Like,
the Crave.
I love all of the Enjoy Pure Wands and Pure Plug metal toys. That's my jam.
Love, and Like a Kitten. Here we are.
Like a Kitten is fantastic. Yeah.
They're I mean, because they're relatively new. I love to see them.
They have this one called Fly Me to the Moon that looks sort of like something you'd see in a doctor's office, but it's a great toy and I've really enjoyed using it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
What's a phrase about gender you wish we could all just leave behind?
The idea that men have higher sex drives than women. I think that's bullshit. I think that women are supposed to suppress their sex drive or pretend or gatekeep sex, but I don't think that women automatically want sex less than men, and I think that's a really harmful idea. Does that answer the question? I wasn't quite sure what a phrase about gender you wish would leave behind meant, but that was kind of
men. No, I understand. That's why it's open for interpretation. I thought that was really great. You want to share with us what the best advice you've ever received from another educator or peer? Because this is how I get my goods.
Never make assumptions about your audience, which both means don't assume that they have any education, but also don't assume that they know nothing.
I like that.
You have to meet people where they're at, and people may know way more than you think they know, or they may know way less than you think they know, and just don't assume and actually like get in there and see what's actually going on. Always check.
Always check. Don't assume. Yeah. Right. I like that. The same thing. It's one of the top, isms in selling, right? Don't assume anyone's budget.
Exactly.
Just don't assume.
Just don't assume. Yeah. See what's actually happening.
What's actually which, happening. Is easier said than done for most people, but maybe now you'll check it. I don't know. I always obviously I'm hungry. It's almost dinner time. So I'm going to ask you, what's your go-to comfort food at the end of a long day? Let's talk about food, our other fun pleasure, at least mine.
If I had my druthers, sourdough toast with butter and strawberry jam. That's
that is a really good one. That's a really good one.
Yeah.
Okay. So I went a little over time, but we'll do the last thing where it's like, all right, we're going to wrap up now.
Okay.
We're going to wrap because we're talking about condoms and I'm funny. Do you have a piece of wisdom that maybe you want to share with people? And then let everybody know, like do the shameless plug, do all the things, let people know where to find you again and just leave us with some wisdom.
Sure. So again, it's the don't assume. Okay. I'm just going to use a little anecdote.
I love it.
From a dating, because I'm dating. I'm always dating.
Oh, congratulations. Right.
No.
I mean, and with all the apps and everything, dating's a business now.
No, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. It feels like playing snakes and ladders. I just want to fuck, but I want to fuck good people. I want to fuck. Yeah. I don't want to fuck someone who doesn't want to meet me in public first. Like, come on. Anyway,
you'd like to fuck a human, right?
Yeah, like, I want kindness, and I realize it's not that I want a committed relationship. It's not that I want a one night stand. I want kindness. I want communication. I want humanity. I want authentic pleasure. So okay. This idea that, again, don't assume. There's this idea that all women have their orgasm by receiving cunnilingus, or all men need this, or gender is this, or whatever. Just, can we let go of that and see what the actual individual wants? And I'm just going to give this anecdote from, I'm on Field because it's the I'm kinky and poly, and it's the kinky poly dating app, which is a real mixed bag of apples, but whatever. This guy was like, he had this thing in his profile where he said, I don't enjoy sex unless there's a deep emotional connection, but I want to eat you out. And I read that and I wrote him and I was like, you know what? Thank you for messaging me. But actually, for me, receiving oral is not the thing that gets me off. That's not my favorite activity. And it's something that I really only enjoy if I have a deep emotional connection with someone, because it's not
and that's not going to happen in what I'm asking for right here, sir.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, you've basically said that you're completely emotionally closed off, but you want to do this thing that for me is not really like what I'm here looking for. And he was like, oh, you're overreacting and like you're reading too much into it. And I was just like, but
also I'm just trying to be clear.
Yeah. And I felt like this statement from him is him saying like, I am choosing to be emotionally unavailable and I'm just going to do the thing that's going to get you off because that, fine. And I'm like, but it just seemed like such a depressing,
very like performative almost.
Yeah, it was really depressing. And it's like, I don't want you to go down on me. If we're gonna do that, I'd rather you rail me.
Discussion. There's plenty of other things to do.
There's so this idea that, if you just learn this technique, you will be able to make any woman come. Or
okay, guess what? I know what the technique is. Are you ready? You ready to hear it? You got to talk to your partner.
Yeah, you talk to your partner.
Don't tell anybody that you got to talk to your partner. It's the secret, right? So don't do it.
If there's one thing that I want people to do is to drop their, and the guys who are like, oh yeah, I'm like the masterful lover. No, you're only a masterful lover if you know how to communicate. It's not because you think that you have your skill, because not everyone wants the same shit. So just fucking communicate.
And it could change in the course of your relationship.
Yeah, absolutely.
With yourself.
Or even like what you want from day to day.
Yeah. I don't want to eat the same thing every day.
Yeah.
So I don't know why all of that's expected to be the same day in and day out.
Exactly. So just
my goodness.
I don't know why communication is so hard, but it's stigma, shame, all the stuff. Yeah.
All the things. But communication is the best lubrication. Or as one of my mentors say, you got to finger my brain first. And that couldn't be more accurate.
And that's really like what I'm hoping to do with New York Times, the Substack, everything is just like create more comfort around talking about this stuff.
Oh my goodness. Again,
if that's my legacy I leave behind, that's fine.
Dude, thank you again for being in the Dumbledore army. right? If I didn't tell you, you're already initiated.
I'm not a big J.K. Rowling fan.
Okay, and I just call it the Army because I didn't come up with a better name for myself. No, outside of the author, we're talking the when Harry, has his friends and they name them and they start practicing in the room of requirement. It's more me being Harry and all of my friends coming to support me.
Mm-hmm. We're all contributing to the collective cause of promoting sexual health.
And thank you for doing it and doing the guide and making condoms accessible. It's huge.
Yeah. Thank you. This guide has been a beast to work on. So I'm glad that people are enjoying it and that it came together as well as it did. So.
Oh, it's beautiful. And I'll send it out to everybody. We're going to put an email blast about it. I'm going to put it on the website because it's helping me too, right? For people that like, hey, I need to know more. I could send you my 36-page training deck, but this will kind of also start you off where you need to go. And you don't have to take my bias or go through the.
And it's kind of clickable and scannable. And like, you can kind of just find the information you need from it. Maybe you don't need to read the whole thing, but you just need the non-latex option or the snug fit or whatever. Yeah.
It's all formatted. All the information's there. And then all her information on where she got the information and who the information and what the information is there.
I had a very thorough fact checker. I had an infuriatingly thorough fact checker. So
that's a great job. What are you talking about? Fact checking on toys and condoms and lube. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you again so much. My husband just got home, and so now my dogs are going crazy, and that means I've already kept you too long, and I've kept the audience. But you guys have been super awesome. Thank you so much for being here and all that you've done for the guide. If anybody missed the things, you can go to YouTube. This one. Down there, and the whole live episode will just be automatically posted because I figured
wonderful.
That out.
Then I can link that.
Yes, and then for you, I can send you like as soon as this uploads, I can send you all the stuff. It'll be
fantastic.
Fun.
Thank you.
But I love all of you guys for coming. And dude, this was like huge. We have a condom guide, and I have not just an educator, but a journalist here on the show. Like we're doing things and we're going places. Thank you for being part of it. If anybody does want to be part of the show or has other topics. This is where you find us. You can either DM, you can comment, you can go to the socials, the Instagram, whatever you got to do. But it's part of what we're doing here, where we're trying to make all this stuff accessible. So please reach out, and we'll see you all next Tuesday.
Thank you, Tori. This was really fun.